Yeah, welcome back to this section. And in this session, I'm going to be talking about comments, inline, and block elements. The last session I told you about nested element, like the fact that you can put a particular element in another element, and that is nesting a an HTML tag. So, but in this case, sometimes when you're writing code, you might want to write some description of how your page should look like. Okay, what you did at a particular line, and you want to write some description, and to do that you need to write it as comments. So comment is just like, is you are the only one that will be able to read it. The web browser or the compiler, if you are writing a programming language, will not be able to take note of the comments to just keep through. But it is when you are reading through your code that you'll be able to see the comments, which is most of the time ignored by the compiler. So to comment in HTML, we use control slash if for the shortcut, but if you want to type it out, you can just do something like this, and you have your comment. You have your comment, and you can say, okay, uh, heading tag, heading tag goes in the next line. The next, so just like, okay, you're trying to write description of what your page is. And also sometimes maybe you are trying to troubleshoot and some session you want to see if it's a particular thing that's causing the error, can just highlight all and comment it out while you work, because if you can't delete it, it might not be that session that is causing error, and to get it back might be a problem. So that's another thing you can use comment for. So heading to, for example, so this is a single line comment. If I try and so this is a single line comment, you can also have a multi-line comment. So the same thing, the same format applies. So you just press Ctrl slash and you just have your multi-line comment, and you can just say this is a multiple lines comment. So so I can just decide to break it into several lines. So that is comments. Now another thing I want to tell you about is the block and inline elements. So when you hear the word block elements, inline element, there's nothing special about it. It's just that block elements, for example, let's say I have my H2, or let me use H3 this time around. I call this heading third third web, for example. So if I create another tag, for example, if I create a button tag, which we are going to be learning button tag, and I say click me, this button tag is going to go to the next line because this heading h3 is a block element. Because once you define it, it takes the entire line, and that is why we call it a block element. So let's see it in action. The same process we have been doing, open with live server. You can see that it's not on the same line. So even if I define another paragraph here, the paragraph is going to go to the next line. It's going to go because it's a block element. So block element take the entire line. You can see that it's sent. But now these are examples of block element because it takes the entire line. The next element that you define after it sends it automatically to the next line. So this is a block. This is a block element. Now we also have inline elements. An example of inline element is this button I've defined here. So let's say, okay, I want to define like another button. So the shortcut I'm using to duplicate that line is Alt Shift down arrow. So let's say I want to duplicate this particular line. So I'll just press Alt Shift and I press down arrow. It's going to duplicate that particular line for me. So let's say, okay, I want to nest a, let me use a paragraph inside. Okay, let me just say I have this. So I just want to try and relate with what you have already learned. So paragraph. So, and I have this click me. So, and I want to move this paragraph into the button tag. All I just need to do is I just press Alt and I press the up arrow. So it's going to jump the previous line to go to the next one. So unlike duplicating is just Alt Shift, but to move it, it's Alt. So I believe you get. So now click me, and let me call this one reset, and let me call the next one submit, for example. So you can see now that all the buttons, they are all on the same line because they are inline elements. So that's the difference between block elements and inline. Another example of inline element is link, which we are going to be looking at subsequently.